Good evening. Events to celebrate the Queen's Platinum Jubilee are in full flow across Scotland. The Princess Royal visited Edinburgh this afternoon as part of a special programme of events to mark the milestone. First Minister Nicola Sturgeon is among those paying tribute to Her Majesty as she becomes the first British monarch to mark 70 years on the throne. Here's Kay Nicholson.
Locals in Royal Deeside are embracing the Jubilee party spirit.
And I've even drawn the Queen. Do you want to see it?
Gorgeous.
We're having a lovely time, brought our scones and we're being very British.
We love the Queen and we just thought we would want to celebrate.
Just hours after a Thanksgiving service for her mother in London today, Princess Anne visited Edinburgh Zoo, meeting young Ukrainian refugees before feeding some penguins. Last night, Jubilee beacons were lit at sites around Scotland, including Lossiemouth, Stonehaven and Edinburgh Castle. Meanwhile, former yachtsmen came out of retirement to return to the decommissioned Royal Yacht Britannia, now a visitor attraction in the capital.
Because we were here on the Silver Jubilee, it's incredible to be back here for the Platinum.
This will never happen again in a lifetime, and to be part of this celebration is such a pleasure for me.
Scotland's First Minister also paid tribute, saying she's fortunate to have spent time with the Queen in private.
She's somebody who has had a front row seat on the last 70 years, more than that, of history. She's met probably every world leader over that time. She has seen up close and personal some of the key events of history.
The Queen herself is marking the occasion privately today after having some discomfort at yesterday's events. But whether ringing bells at Pluscarden Abbey in Murray, saying it with flowers in Edinburgh's Princes Street Gardens, commemorating previous royal visits as in this church in Clackmannanshire, or having a street party with your neighbours, everyone is finding their own way of celebrating this weekend.
Cheers.
Kay Nicholson, STV News.
A man has died after a fire in Dumbarton. Emergency services were called to a flat on Round Riding Road around 7:45 last night. The 72-year-old was taken to hospital, but he died a short time later. ScotRail cancellations and the rising cost of living are hampering the High Street's recovery from the COVID pandemic. That's the warning from the Scottish Retail Consortium. Their figures reveal Scotland has the worst rate of shopper footfall growth from pre-pandemic levels in the UK. The Scottish Environment Protection Agency has published its first water scarcity alert of the year. Covering North Fife and Dundee, it comes after a spell of dry weather. Businesses and the public are now being urged to consider how they can be more efficient and minimise their water use. Saul Sivright reports.
Fresh, clean water is something we all rely on, but Scotland's climate is changing and it's starting to impact the resource we have available. Despite a series of storms in recent months, groundwater levels have remained low in some parts of the country. It's led SEPA to issue its first water scarcity alert of 2022, covering North Fife and the city of Dundee.
We're starting to see some issues with river levels. Rivers such as the Erne behind me are starting to be a little lower than average, and across significant parts of Scotland we're seeing lower than average levels of soil moisture, which can cause problems through the summer as there's lower than normal predicted rainfall.
Water scarcity was once described as a rare event, but since 2018 it's recurred each year in Scotland.
As we get into water scarcity situations, it can have an impact particularly on the growth of crops if there's not enough water available to irrigate. You can also see fish kills and also fish under stress as the water temperatures increase as the water gets shallower, and wider impacts on wildlife as well. So we're asking abstractors and businesses to plan ahead, to use water wisely and to work with their neighbours, and by taking action now we can avoid having to take stronger regulatory action later in the year.
Scottish Water are responsible for making sure households have a reliable water supply. They say whilst the recent reports are significant, customers shouldn't experience any disruption in supply, but should reduce their water usage. Saul Sivright, STV News.
Johnny Depp fans have been lining the streets in Glasgow today, hoping to get a glimpse of the actor. He's joining guitar legend Jeff Beck on stage at the Royal Concert Hall tonight and was spotted leaving the Dakota Hotel earlier today. He's performing in the city just days after winning his multi-million-dollar US defamation lawsuit against former wife Amber Heard.
We've been standing here, you know, word of mouth, everybody's going, where he's coming, he's coming. A car came round with other people that I don't know, and we were all videoing like, Johnny, Johnny, and then it wasn't him.
I saw that he turned up at Sheffield and I just thought I'd take a chance and get the tickets anyway.
I've been a fan since 21 Jump Street, and I just heard he was in Glasgow today, and I couldn't get tickets for the show, so I thought I'd just come along anyway, see if I can see him.
Well, that's the news. Before we go, just time for the weather. Here's Philip.
The outlook for the day is calm and settled. TUI Blue Hotels, sponsor STV Weather.
Hello there. Well, any remaining isolated showers from the daytime are eventually fading away, and for the whole country it will be a dry night to come. The clearest skies will be across northern and western areas. Across the north, the northeast and through the central belt, we're seeing the return of this low cloud mist and murk. Temperature-wise, where we've got that cloud getting down to around 8 or 9, under the clearest skies getting down to around 6 or 7. So looking ahead to tomorrow, a bright start to the day in the west. Through the course of the morning, that cloud will eventually start to clear across the central belt and eastern areas, with temperatures reaching highs of possibly 21. Bye-bye.
TUI Blue Hotels, sponsor STV Weather.
And that's all we've time for. There will be updates throughout the weekend. Do enjoy the bank holiday. From all of us here, good night.